Hey, very good morning to you, trader Tiago Andrade here from the Trading Cage. How are you guys? Today, Wednesday, the 4th of March. Almost half of the year is gone already. January and February went flying past. Um, a lot faster than what I actually anticipated. I actually thought we would have a months a little bit slower than what has been, but a lot of news happening, a lot of stuff happening worldwide, and the market is going crazy at the moment because nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. All right, so let's start with our daily analysis of our gold. On our gold here, let's go over. Oh, look at that! It's breaking through right now. Huh. Let me just have a look at one little thing. Just before we start, just wanted to have a look at this. Okay, so just over that 50%. I'll delete this symbol here. Oh, I deleted all the fibers by mistake. That's all good. I haven't had a look on at the gold since yesterday. I did not trade last night because I had some other things to do. I had mentorships to deliver, so I was on those workshops. And that's the reason why I did not trade last night. I was actually teaching while the market opened. But this is all good. Just renewed that high, hasn't broken through. We still have got the trigger candle there. We have 5 minutes. Okay, cool. So while the market does what it has to do, let's go over to our daily chart as we do every single morning. A very good morning, Sabu. You're here. Good to have you here, buddy. So let's have a look at what gold has been doing for the last 24 hours. Yesterday we did not have our live. We had a power shortage here in my suburb in Brazil, which caused me not to have any power to actually do the live together with you guys. I will select this. I'll delete that one. I'm going to delete that one. We have got resistance here, just under candle 42. Okay, so that's our resistance right there. I'll leave that right there. And then, so our next resistance now is this green line here. Apart from that, we've got nothing on our daily chart, okay? As I said, on Monday, price came through and tested the trigger candle 34 and in the region of 50% of this last retraction. I don't know how many of you will remember that I said that, but it is recorded on our live that was the last place that the price could come to close that gap that it had opened up before on candle 37 and then grab all this liquidity, and we would have a relevant stopping point here on our trigger candle 33. Okay, so this is exactly where price came to grab that liquidity. Then we had resistance here on the minimal of candle 20, candle 44 tested down, and it's coming back up. We have all of this inefficiency here on candle 43, which I believe it's going to be grabbed today, okay? But we do have resistance at 5258. So if you want to buy, I would be very cautious about that region there. If price does break through that, then we'll be looking at price at a maximum high. But at the moment, we just need a good trigger for us to get into this trade until the region of the 5258. Cool. Here on our 1 hour chart, we can see the price is slowing, getting back up. For the last hours, we have seen a consolidation price here. Okay, so price has consolidated just above the support. We had a good rejection with a liquidity grab here on candle 54 of the 1 hour chart. So this is quite good. One thing that we do have is we have a bit of stops in this region here, okay? So we've got liquidity for the price to grab around that region. We are also in the region of the 50% of the month and 50% of the week. So these plays here might work as a resistance for the price, okay? So just pay attention to that. Don't think that price will continue to break through and just go without doing a couple rejections around here in that region. We do know that price works between high, low, and 50%. So because of that, we've got to be very cautious of that 50% of the month. Just bear with me for 1 second. Just got to get into something here really quickly. Too many screens. All right. So we are just above 50% here of this last movement, okay? So 50% of the of yesterday, basically. We're just above it. Let's see how candle 60 will behave. We do want to see price breaking through. Candle 783 did grab that liquidity and then drop price back down on candle 784. So I'm still tracking that 5 minute chart through the 1 minute here. What we want to see is price continuing to break through, grabbing liquidity, because we have got all of these inefficiency here is still on just on top of this 50%, just getting to that maximum high of candle 38. So price could come and accelerate in that region as well. Let's have a look to the left. If we move our Fibo here, we'll see that 50% of the month, okay, the month of March. So we have that region as a resistance. We are above 50% of the movement, but we are not above 50% of the month yet. So you got to be careful in this region to make sure that we are not caught in a rejection, okay? If you have a look to the left, 50% of the month is actually these region here where the price consolidated, okay, and accumulated, which means that around here would be a good support region if price does break through. So if it breaks through that 50%, we will have support here on the 50% of the month, and we will have also support to the left, which would be good, as I am looking for buys. I'm not looking for shorts today. All right. On our 15 minutes, we have got a trend line here. Hang on. Price is on an uptrend at the moment. I'll leave it there and here. So we have a good trend line in that region. As we said, price did come and grab that little bit of liquidity on top of candle 46, but it did touch that trigger candle 56, and that's what's holding the price at the moment. Also, that region of 50% of the month and of the week. Okay, so this region is holding the price quite well. If price does break through, we have got good acceleration points here until we get into the region of that trigger candle 5258, which is our daily trigger candle. Let's have a look to the left. So we are almost above all of that. We must see, have a look at this price, see it breaking through that 50% so we can buy. If it does break through, we have got a good movement up. This here is actually here, so we can put it there. And then this one's right. I'll actually put this one a little bit lower so I can see exactly where I want the price to go. And then this one is all the high in there. So we could get a very good movement today, possibly, grabbing all that inefficiency left on the daily chart from yesterday's candle. We could see this thing popping right back up. Now, if it does reject this 50%, then we would see price coming down lower, right? So if we see that it grabs a rejection here and rejects that price and comes back below this 50%, then we could see price actually coming down lower to grab all of these stops that are under here, this pivot here, and also down here. So there's quite a bit of stops in there. I wouldn't think that price would come as down as our trigger candle again, because it already tested this region and didn't break through yesterday. Also, this is the region of that 50% macro, okay? So we got that 50% of the last very big retraction there. We are above all those 50s. So now we're just waiting for the price to confirm that pullback to the maximum high. It hasn't confirmed yet on this structure. It will only confirm once we start breaking through these 50s. All right. So, but if it does reject that 50%, we could have some good shorts in here. But I do want to see a price doing lower lows and lower highs. At the moment, is just doing higher lows and higher highs in this structure here. So I don't want to be shorting right now, okay? Let's go over to our 5-minute chart. It is coming to test support on our 5-minute chart. Oh, look at that. We've got this 50% here. That's a very big movement from sellers at the moment. One good thing, we started the week on Monday and on Sunday night, actually. And we are tracking so far. I did not trade yesterday. As I said, we had no power. We're tracking on 4% this week already. So things are going well. Let's see how the market is going to behave today and see if we can grab those 2%, put it in our pocket, and then to see if we manage to finish the week with our 10% once again, okay? And just have in mind, we are doing these trades with our risk management in place, proper risk management, okay? So this is why we haven't doubled the account yet. We're doing it the responsible way, the way that you should not put your capital at risk. A lot of people go crazy and go, oh, but I can make all this much money in one day. I know how to trade. Yeah, of course. You also know how to blow up your account and lose all your money. So we are doing it the right way, not the wrong way. Cool. So candle 160 here came around the 50%. It is breaking through those trigger candles there. So we can expect a higher retraction if price doesn't come back up from this 50. Okay, price could as well come down to trigger candle 41 here on our 15-minute chart, which is the region of trigger candle 122. Now price is still doing higher highs and higher lows. Let's see until where this candle 160 will continue to breach at the moment. We've got candle 54 coming down. It is going into the region of support in the 15 minutes here. Let me do a Fibo from here to here, just to see where is that 50% of this last retraction. Okay, so that's where we can still expect that price. If it goes lower than that, then we'll start to change the structure as we know it. Okay. Candle 160. If we put a trend line here, it is breaking through that trend line in the 5 minutes. So if we put a trend line here, candle 160 just broke through it. It did grab a little bit of that liquidity below. So one thing that could happen here is a 3 candle pattern to continue the movement up. So we had liquidity here, and candle 160 did grab the liquidity below candle 140. Now we have quite a bit more liquidity here to be grabbed below candle 132 and all these trigger candles here. But let's see, we can see a very strong push here from sellers at the moment, okay? But I'm not looking to sell just yet. Patience pays the trader, and this is how we trade. I'm not one of those traders that will just be putting myself at risk just anywhere because it's not worth it. Let's see if candle 161 will come down and then test that minimals once again to see if it will actually come up once again. If it does reject that 50%, we could have a 3 candle pattern there to the highs with a very small stop, which is ideal for what we do every single day. Only 1 minute here, we can see a lateralization here. We have a rejection here on candle 799. What we need to see is candle 161 closing inside of candle 160, and then we need to see candle 162 testing down once again to grab our trade up here. So if it doesn't test, we can't go long. At the moment, candle 54 is testing right here. Let me show you guys. So candle 54 is testing exactly this region here. That's a region of support for the price. So let's see if that support is really strong. If it is really strong, then it should hold that price in there and give us a rejection on the next candle. The 161 is kind of rejection. It's kind of rejecting that support, but it does need to close inside over this 50% and inside of candle 160. Otherwise, we got nothing for the next candle to do. Okay, we are above 50% of this movement here. Oh, that's the wrong thing. I need a Fibonacci. All right. So we are in the region of that 50%. Let's say I close this. It doesn't look like it will close above that line. All right. Cool. So candle 161 closed below the 50%. Now candle 162 is testing that same 50% once again. Let's see how it will react in that region. And the 162 tested 50%, most likely now it has confirmed pullback to the minimals. Okay, let's say now it has to come here lower to the lower part of candle 799 and renew that. You want to get into a trade, Sabu, really quickly? Let's see how candle 807 will behave. It has already done its obligation as a pullback, so it has renewed the minimal of 799. The issue here, Sabu, about why don't we just short it? It's simply because we are on an uptrend above support still. Okay, we still haven't broken through the support to the left. So if we sell here, we could easily be stopped up here since we are still above support. Okay, so we can't just get into small trades just like that. We need a trade that will pay us at least about 400 points. So we've got to be a little bit careful of where we get into these trades. Otherwise, we could be stopped quite easily instead of just beefing up for the opening of the American market. So here on the 1 minute, we can see the price is breaking through, but we have a very big push from buyers every time the price comes to this region. Buyers are trying to push the price back up. It's not a very easy region to trade since we are above support. Now, we do know that price wants to come and grab this liquidity, which already has. Okay, so candle 162 here, grab the rest of that liquidity. Then we got liquidity below here. Also, we've got these trigger candle to the left, and then we got liquidity below here as well. So just want to see a change in the structure before we start selling, shorting in this market. Now, once we have confirmation that the price has rejected that region, then it's a lot easier for us to trade. Because then we have good anchor points below. All right. So let's see where price is right now. The 163 didn't test. Let's see, candle 55 here needs to test up. So we can put our position below it on the 15 minutes. Say candle 54 did break through, but candle 55 did not test. On. If it doesn't test, I'm not gonna get into a short here. I know that these next 15-minute candle should come here below to the region of the support, these 50% here, but it hasn't tested, so I'm not getting into it. I've got to follow my rules. Otherwise, if I start playing around with the technique and my rules, if it goes wrong, then it is awfully bad, psychologically wise. Okay, so we do not play around with our rules or our technique. I do know that the price has to go down, but it's got to let me get into that trade. And the 163 just breaking through trigger candle 127. Still no test from candle 15, from the 15-minute on candle 55. Once again, on our technique, we do not use any indicators. Okay, it's just reading of the price and the candle reading. How do we get confirmations that the price is actually breaking through? I'm just going to teach you guys here while this candle doesn't move, doesn't go anywhere. So when candle 160 comes here around the 50%, it didn't break through that 50, right? So we expected candle 161 either to reject that 50 or to continue on its way down. Candle 162 came down here, but it did not close below this structure here, which didn't tell me that we had a strong enough movement for the price to continue on its way down without a test. So that's why without tests, we can't really rely just on anything. So I'm waiting there for a test on the 15-minute candle. It's probably not going to do it now. Even if it does, it already came here to my target region, which is trigger candle 38. Okay, so this is the support down here. So it already went over to our target where we could have done that trade. But candle 55 did not test. Doesn't test, we don't get into trades in that region, and that's it. Candle 164 is testing now. But we're just at the trigger candle. So it's a bit risky to get into the trade here. And right now we're looking at 1300 points for a stop against 1,000. This actually might work. I'll put a short here just below it. Let's see if it's going to get our entry point. There you go, Sabu. But now make sure that your stop loss is in the right region, okay? This is a regional support for the price here, but the actual support is below here, and we still have got all this liquidity around this region. So if price comes down here and doesn't grab that liquidity, then it shouldn't have enough liquidity to continue on its way up. Let's see what's happening here on the 1 minute. All right, so we are now on the trade. Target is the support region here below, okay? So we're talking about 500 points, 600 points right now. Let's see what happens. I actually might leave it down here and then see if price will actually come down there to grab it. do need to see an acceleration here. We need to see a confirmation pullback on 1 minute, which has done now. On the 1 minute, it has confirmed pullback to the lows, to the minimals. We do want price to continue on its way down. It's got to renew the minimal of candle 813. Come on, buddy. Come on. All right, let's see if price will accelerate now. Grabbing those stops. This is over 400 points. I'll put my price on break even. Don't do that. Why are you doing that? Okay, make sure your price is on break even because it's going to come and take us out. It could be just a liquidity grab. We are at that regional support. So it's finding a little bit of support here from those trigger candles and those candles to the left. So it might not go down there to pay our take simply because it is a regional support, as I said before. And this is why Sabui makes it so difficult. What? Oh, there you go. Okay. Sorry, guys. Looks like our stream went a little bit bad before. It's just should pay us now. Let's see if it will continue to push down into that regional support right now. Sabu, I hope that you got this one since you wanted a trade. All right. If it doesn't pay me now, I'm gonna take it off. It paid. Come on, man. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. One push, one last push, one last push, and it is done. 1,000 points in our pocket right now. Sabu, did you get that one? I know that YouTube went down for a little bit. At least is what it showed me here. Did you get that trade? Sabu? No Sabu anymore. Sabu's gone. It's all good. All right. So candle 165 came here to our region of support, also our region of 50%, only 15 minutes. Paid our trade, so it was actually a good trade. But once again, see that we waited for candle 163 to test. Candle 163 did not test. You missed it. What do you mean you missed it? We actually put that trade in before we actually lost connection with YouTube. Oh man, shoot. Okay, that trade was just for you, buddy. Can't believe it. All right, it's okay. We'll find another one when we find one. Okay, don't worry about it. So we waited for candle 163 to test. Unfortunately, it did not test. So we waited for candle 164 to test then, which we expected candle 55 to test before, and it didn't. So when candle 164 tests after candle 163 closed below the candles to the left, that gave us a good entry point into our regional support, okay? Simply because there was liquidity below, price needs liquidity to move. So what it did in here was come grab that liquidity, and we put our take exactly where the regional support was before. So that was a good one. Sorry, man. Sabu. This was for you, buddy, but it's okay. No worries. I wasn't gonna sell. Since the beginning of the live, I was like, I don't want to sell there. But then I knew that they had to come and grab this liquidity, and you asked me for a trade. So it's all right. If we get another one, we try another one. Bugger. Let's see how candle 165 will behave now. So we could have a rejection of this 50% on the 15 minutes. Okay. Now I do need a very good test from the next candle. If it doesn't test, and it does need to close, it would be good if candle 55 closed above trigger candle 38, but it doesn't look like it's going to do that. Let's say if on the next two candles, if there will be a rejection here on the 5 minutes, and we might get another trade. So candle 165 closed inside of candle 64. Not as much as I would like. I would prefer if it had closed inside of the body of candle 164. S price could still push down a little bit more, but I do believe in these regional support right now. So I'm gonna wait for candle 166 to close to see exactly how it will behave. Okay. This is trade is pretty much like when you're a kid. You need to see how candles will behave first. If they don't behave, then you don't get into those trades. This is pretty much it. It's a good analogy, actually. If they don't do what you expect them to do, then just don't do anything. Just wait for it. I'm expecting a rejection here, but the problem is that the wick of candle 165 is just very long. So we're talking about over 1,000 points of stop here instead of being a short stop. So it's best for us to wait to see what the market will do instead of putting such a big risk on a trade. Candle 55 did close below the support to the left, which is the support here that we had. Made the analysis on. Okay, so we have that support there. We also have support below, but this one is a support by the structure. So we've got trigger candle 38 and all these other candles to the left here, indicating that we had good support here also. Candle 34, 35, 38 closing above, candle floor 40 closing above, and candle 43 using this region as support. So this is really good. The other one that we do have is here. So trigger candle 17. But let's see how the market will behave in that region there. This could be just the test of candle 56, okay? And this is why we've got to be a little bit cautious around here. You're making dinner and trading, Sabu. Wow, that's good. Multitasking. Right. So right now, on the 1 minute, we are above 50% of these retraction, these movement here. Let's wait to see how it's gonna close, if it's gonna renew or break through that. Break through that structure on the 1 minute. Okay, hasn't broken through yet, so it just touched trigger candle 816, but it hasn't actually broken through that trigger candle there. We're still waiting for that to break through. So it didn't close above that trigger candle. Makes it a little hard to trade. Let's see how much of a test it will do on the 1 minute. Could test a little more, would be good. Test a little bit more, at least around the region of the 50% here, or at least the maximum high of candle 826. Just should tell us that we have good support in this region here before we start buying. I am still a buyer on this market. It didn't test enough for me. In 15 minutes, it's just touching that trigger candle 21 there. I just want to make sure that it does break through that trigger. Price is having a hard time trying to close above. Did close out of the trigger candle now. So let's see if we get a test from 832. Test down to the region of 830. And then we can put a long order in here. Come on, a little bit more, a little bit more. I'm gonna put a long order here. Let's see if price will come to break through that high. If it doesn't and come back below this 50, then we'll be taking our order out, okay? Price came here to a regional support, reject that region. just came to grab that liquidity. It did a good liquidity grab here at the moment, just before the rejection. So it grabbed all the liquidity below 155, all the liquidity below 140, all the liquidity below 132, all that liquidity below 127, and the one below 122. So it grabbed a lot of liquidity in there. Price should have enough liquidity to continue on its way up if that's what it wishes to do. Okay, we can have a pullback here until the 50% of this movement. If it goes over that 50%, then we take our order out. Good test here. If it does test that trigger candle and rejects it and comes back up, then we could be expecting this price first at this 50% here, and then after to the maximum high of this movement once again. A new high and a new low and a new Fibonacci. So we've got this here. Now let's see how this is working. All right, so candle 167 is now testing trigger candle 165. Let's see if it rejects it. I'm taking my buy order out at the moment, just because of the movement of candle 168. I'm taking my buy order out. Let's see if it will reject the support region once again, or if it will continue to move down. Okay, so we've got candle 56 here on the 1 minute, just above that 50% of the movement on the 15 minutes. So let's wait for that. This is one of the reasons why we need to wait to confirm if price is actually going up or down, because if we had just bought below here, we would be taken out now on break even. And we don't want to be shorting just anywhere. So it's good to wait for those confirmations and wait for those tests. I knew that candle 56 could test up into this region here, but then I needed to see on 1 minute if the 1 minute was actually going to reject it or not before we get into anything. All right, so as I always say, patience pays the trader. There's no need to be rushing into trades without good confirmation. Now we've got 4 minutes to go on these live. I'll just make a analysis for you guys for the opening of the US market. So today we are still above 50% of the day, okay? We are above support right now. 50% of the day is pretty much in this region here on the 15 minutes. Oh, you can't actually see it because my camera is in the way. Sorry, guys. Okay, so around here, so this is the 50% of the day. Okay, we've got trigger candle 30 here below. We can actually put an arrow there so you can keep an eye on it. So this is it here. Just pay attention to that region. Let's say I still believe that this price will come back up. Okay, we are above support. We are above that 50%. We could have a 3 candle pattern on the 15 minutes here really soon. So if candle 57 actually tests down, then we could put a long order here. Sorry. For that to happen, we need candle 56 to close inside of candle 55, okay? And at the region or above its 50%. So it needs to close around here for us to be able to get that 3 candle pattern on the next 15 minutes. On the 5 minutes, we are getting a rejection here. So price is starting to look really good for a long position. Now, if price does break through the support here, we could wait for it to break through, okay? So don't sell before it breaks through the region. Wait for it to test, and then you could short it until about just over 50% of the day, just below this region here, because then it will need to come and grab some more liquidity. As I said before, I'm biased. I think that this price will come back up because it is above support, and by the structure that we have at the moment, we could see that it cleared all this liquidity below, have left a little bit, quite a bit of stops in here. So price could be trying to come back up. Also on the macro, we are above 50% of all highs. So I do believe that it's gonna come and grab all of these above, okay? If it doesn't happen now before the US market opens, it will be happening when the US market opens, all right? So just pay attention to that. If candle 168 closes this way, all we need to do is wait for candle 169 to test down, and then we'll be on a long trade. Remember, stops is about 1,000 points at the moment. Let's see if we'll test down. It's not, oh man, why does it do this? It opens up without testing every time. Every time I'm waiting for it, it just goes. And once again, I can't get into that trade because I'm waiting for it to test. I'm not gonna buy it without testing. But this price should come back up to this 50% region. Unfortunately, now it just made our stop a lot longer. So now it's 1,600 points, just over 1,800 points. When around here, it was going to be basically just over 1,000. Well, it is what it is. It didn't allow me to get into that trade, but it's all good. We expect this price to come here to this 50%, breaking through these 50 and these trigger candles to the left. You could also have a buy, but the only problem is that your stop is a bit too long. All right. Guys, I do have to go. It has been a pleasure to be here together with you guys once again. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. I might make a couple more videos today for the channel. Depending on what happens, I might record a couple videos for the opening of the US market. But let's see how it goes. I'm not going to promise now, otherwise I'll have to do it. All right, let's see how it goes. And I've got to go trade together with my students on our Zoom workshop where we trade live every day. It has been awesome to map this price once again together with all of you guys. I hope to see you again tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, okay? If you don't like these videos and these lives, YouTube is not gonna think that it is relevant, and then they're not gonna push these through to other people that want to see these sort of analysis. So I do ask you guys to always leave your like and comment if you wish, okay, and subscribe to the channel and share this so we can continue doing this work. It's a new project. Tomorrow will be 60 days that we started. And I'm hoping we can continue this for a very long time. All right. My name is Tiago Andrade. Thank you very much for your patience today. Remember, patience pays the trade. Look what happened at candle 169 simply because it didn't test. We always wait for that test. Okay. Thank you guys. I'll catch you soon. See you tomorrow.